Hassan is about a week behind on this story. Um, I think he might even be more than a week behind on this story. I'm fairly certain that the first person I saw covering it was Michael Richards, the All American Socialist. But okay, let's see what you have to say, Hassan.
Joe Biden hates black people. Real Nico House, who is like a Jimmy Dore supporter crank who claims to be a leftist but not really, isn't really an anti-capitalist at all or a leftist at all, said to AOC, but you vote to send money to Nazis and fund the Israeli apartheid. But hey, at least you stood up to a TikTok star, which by the way, weird because like there is truth to what he's saying here. He said, yo, AOC has burned accounts. I responded to one of her posts reminding her that she sends money to Nazis and some random account responded to me speaking in first person as if I attacked them. Then that same person deleted the tweets. You bet I did. New York City doesn't play with bigots and transphobes, and neither do I. Have a great day. He said, but you vote to send money to Nazis and fund the Israeli apartheid. But hey, at least you stood up to a TikTok star. And then Zaza Demon said, lol, and what makes you think that I did anything to support Nazis? You're delusional. Seek help. And then they deleted it, and he went, oh, I found AOC's burner account. I responded to one of her posts reminding her that she sends money to Nazis, and some random account responded to me speaking in the first person. Now, in the tweet that he's responding to, Zaza Demon is quoted in the fucking tweet. Zaza Demon is also a Hasanabi head because I immediately looked up who this person was when I saw it popping off. Oh, sorry. This person replied to Zaza Demon because I think what happened is like he retweeted it or something. And sometimes when someone retweets something and you respond to it, it comes up as though you are adding them without realizing you're adding them. They reply to a retweet by Zaza, which adds the retweeter as well in the reply. Exactly. For those of you who don't know, Zaza is not a cute way to say Alexandria. Zaza is weed. I don't know if you knew that or not. It's gas. So because he was added in here due to his retweet being something that this idiot responded to, he thought that he was being called in the question for no reason. And he jumped up and said, oh, I found AOC's burner. But this motherfucker's going to be acting like he cracked the Da Vinci Code for the next 6 months. Also, his logic doesn't even make sense. Lamau, if she was using a burner account, she wouldn't get a notification that you replied to her main unless she...
Hold up before we continue. So, for those of you who haven't seen some of my previous videos, Nico House is, he was basically a dude who got planted in, apparently, or so he claims. He had a position on the Bernie campaign in 2016. If he did, I would imagine that he was there as a disruptor. He started a company called Mi Casa Su Casa, which has some shady financing behind it. The Convo Couch used to report to him, but now I think they probably have a deal with RT. I'm not sure that they still have a relationship with Nico House. He also was a huge supporter of Tulsi Gabbard for her 2020 presidential run. Him, Jimmy Dore, Carlos Marroquin of Bernie Brigade and Bernie's Coffee Shop, and several other Bernie Brigade, Bernie's Coffee Shop, and even Feel the Burn. People up in LA were involved in that visit when Tulsi came out to LA. So they have been disruptors the entire time. The entire time. I've had personal experiences with these folks, and Hassan, just know they do hire trolls. Not only to troll you online, but to, if they get your phone number, they're going to send you malicious links. I've been having to delete a lot of that. And they even sent a dude to try and, stay with me for a couple weeks under false pretenses that he was doing, like, basically like a Bernie journey, investigating the Convo Couch. So just be aware that they've got money and resources, probably not as much as you. You're obviously a very rich live streamer, but they will attack your channels and they will try and get you banned. I'm just giving you a heads up because that's how they roll. So But I'm glad you're covering the topic because they're definitely agents of the GOP, for sure.
Switch back to her profile. Oh yeah, then why is the account deleted? Man, if I had 1,000 people harassing my no followers account, I would fucking delete it too. Use what little brains you have, please. I thought if I clearly explained why it makes sense that that account replied in that way, that people would realize how silly they're being. But then I remember this group of people watch Jimmy Dore and drink himself to death and worship him like an infallible god. Now, the hilarious part about this is I looked through Zaza Demon's tweets as soon as I saw the original call out pose. And I hope that that's AOC's fucking burner account. Because Zaza Demon seemingly is a Hasanabi head and says a bunch of awesome and maybe even a little unhinged shit on Twitter all the time. It would be incredibly cool. It would literally make AOC look better in the eyes of most people that are extremely online. Let's talk about white solidarity and let's talk about black people. Black people are not allowed to showboat. Black people are not allowed to be in any way, shape, or form petty winners. Sorry, you're not allowed. If you do that, then everyone will fucking lose their minds at you.
Reese knows a ring is coming.
Angel Reese goes up to Caitlin Clark and does Caitlin Clark's celebration. Caitlin Clark is basically popping off in the NCAA. She's like breaking records, right? She plays for Iowa. She's white. Caitlin Clark's celebration is the John Cena can't see me celebration. The game is massive, as Will correctly pointed out on the latest episode of Fear and LSU and Iowa averaged 9.9.
Wait, before we move into this next story, I just want to go a little bit further, Hassan, because I don't think you spent enough time on what a conspiracy theorist that dude is. Not only did he just start that rumor last week, it got picked up by Marjorie Taylor Greene and other Republicans, like extreme radical extremists, because that is the crowd that he appeals to. And then more than likely, he's probably being funded by. That's an assumption on my part, but it makes sense because of the shit that he's done in the past. He started the rumor back in 2017 when Chester Bennington committed suicide. He started the rumor that Chester Bennington was the illegitimate child of John Podesta. When Trump had his rally on Jan 6 and encouraged all of his base that were there at the rally to go to the Capitol, Trump's media team that put together the promotional video that demonized the Democrats and used like lizard people imagery, anti-Semitic imagery. The song that was playing in the background was the memorial version of a Linkin Park song, specifically to tap into that conspiracy theory that Nico House propagated. He also worked with the Becks in Florida that were doing the DNC fraud lawsuit. Elizabeth Beck had been going on shows with tinfoil on her head. They had been circulating rumors, all three of them, that the Mayo Clinic was killing people on behalf of the Clintons. So they were diving into the whole Clinton body count thing. I don't know if you really have enough background knowledge on how exactly dangerous this guy is. But that's like, he is one of the most significant, dangerous propaganda trolls online and in person. I've met him in person. Fortunately, I've never actually had to have a conversation with him, but every time I'm in the same room with him, he recognizes me, which is a little scary. That dude is totally messed up. And he even dragged me into one of his conspiracy theories about a completely irrelevant organizer who thinks he is the father of the movement, but nobody fucking takes him seriously. And Nico had a personal beef with that guy, started a whole campaign against him, even pulled Tim Canova into it to have interviews about him. And it was like, dude, why? Like, nobody even knows who he is except for us on the ground. And most of us don't take him seriously because we've now, at this point, all been around him long enough to know that he's full of shit and that he himself is a conspiracy theorist who's passing off anti-vax stuff, which is funny because, like, you would think that they would get along because they're in the same vein that way. But, I mean, it's... folks, can't you just stick to actually, like, fighting for Medicare for all and a Green New Deal and criminal justice reform and protecting, you know, female reproductive rights and protecting undocumented immigrants? And, like, can't we focus on the actual issues? It's economic equality, or equity at least. You know, like, I'm not gonna, obviously you got 23 minutes of additional topics here. That's the one I wanted to cover because I have personal knowledge on it. But Hassan, just watch your account because he's gonna send people after you. I've had it happen to me.